what is the law of identical harvest, and why does Neville emphasizes so much on this? This is one of the favorite lectures of mine of Neville Goddard, and he really makes it very, very clear what is actually law of identical harvest. So my name is Rohit, and I've been studying of law of attraction manifestation for years after experimenting and trying so many things and testing and failing with these things. My goal is to help people expand their consciousness, their awareness, and help them create the dream life, the dream reality that they're looking for. Okay, so law of identical harvest is, in very simply put, it's what is created in the mind is reflected in your 3D reality. That is what the law of identical harvest is. But more important than that is that to understand that this law is not something that is by chance or something. This is how our metaphysical rules, if you want to call any rules, they exist, right? So if you create something in your mind, your 3D reality will, modify itself to fit your image in your mind. So this is an example. Neville talks about he and his wife went on a trip and they lost their suitcase, and they lost their wife's suitcase. And in her wife's suitcase, there were many dresses. She had she actually hired someone to sew those dresses for her. So they were custom made dresses, and they lost it at the airport. And when they were exiting the airport, they couldn't find it. They asked the security to help them. The security said, "We are sorry, we tried everything. These kind of things happen, but we are so sorry, we cannot find it." And Neville's wife was a little bit upset, and Neville was a bit upset. But Neville thought, I'm going to use the power of my imagination, which I've been teaching about, which I've been practicing. I'm going to use that to bring back that suitcase. And the people were like, "It's impossible to find. We don't know where it is. We looked everywhere. We're so sorry. We're not going to find it." And what happens is Neville goes home. So he has two suitcases. One is identical. His is identical to the one his wife has. And they both look the same. So what he does is he goes and picks up one of the suitcases and he weighs it. And he imagines that he's holding his wife's suitcase, and there is a sense of relief. It's like this sense of, wow, finally I have this suitcase. Amazing, nice, great, awesome, right? Weighs it, awesome, it's great, fantastic. Okay, and that is what he does. And he imagines it, and then he gets a mail from someone saying that their suitcase is in certain luggage cabin or the locker in San Francisco. So they call the airport and they say, "Oh, I've received a letter that it says that I have this thing in San Francisco." And the hospital people, security were like, "Okay, let me check." And they said, "Oh, we checked everywhere, sir. It's not here." I was like, No, I don't mean it's here. I said it's in the airport in San Francisco." And they're like, "Okay, oh, really? Okay, let me get back to you on that." So he goes, calls the suitcase in San Francisco. They find the suitcase, and then they call Neville and says, "Oh, we found the suitcase, but we're terribly sorry to inform you that it's been torn apart. It's in a very bad shape. But we will do our best to ship it back to you." And so they get the back and they ask them to come to the airport. They go to the airport. They confirm that that's their luggage, and the suitcase from outside was completely torn apart in a very bad shape. And but not a single cloth was missing from that. Not a single dress was missing from that suitcase. And Neville imagined having relief of finding all these dresses, all these things in that suitcase, and not a single thing was missing from that suitcase. And the airport people are, "We're sorry, we'll help you dry clean with it." And they're like, "No, it's fine. We always dry clean our clothes." Fortunately for us, nothing's missing. That makes me and my wife very happy. Suitcase can always be replaced, but these dresses, which were made with so much care, attention, and they were custom made, would have been very difficult to replace. And thank you so much. And Neville goes back, and he and himself, his wife, are smiling. They're happy, and they know, with the power of imagination, the power of harvesting in their mind's eye first, they were able to create that into real life. So this is what he does. He goes into a state akin to sleep, and then he imagines. If you can actually get an object, like you can feel it in your hand and all that, if you know something similar, if you do the research, if you can find something, it's easier than ever. On the internet, you can find the weight, the way it looks, the images, videos. You can find anything about any object, almost. And then you feel it in your hand. And that's what he imagined. And he imagined a sense of relief. He used his feeling, he used his senses. He implemented all the tones of reality to make it as real as possible. And he imagined it a few times, and then he let it go. And guess what happens? Somebody sends him a mail and tells him that his suitcase is in this locker in San Francisco airport. I may be getting the airport right, but I think it's San Francisco airport. And Neville calls the airport. People don't believe it, and they are shell shocked, basically, that they find that this thing is there, and it is amazing, and he does his best. So that's what ends up happening. So that is the power of harvesting. In your mind's eye first, law of harvest. So whatever the seed you plant in your mind, that is what will be harvested into the 3D reality. And this has been happening. And some of these things are unconscious, and some of these are conscious. If I consciously imagine, I have so much money in my hand, or my friend congratulated me and says, "Wow, awesome, man, you've got so much money." And I'm like, "Hey, man, I got so much money. I got this many $1,000. And your friend's like, "Whoa, man, awesome." So we are having this imaginary congratulatory conversation where my friend is congratulating me and he's saying, "Man, awesome, good job." And maybe there's a high five, there's a punch, or there's a thumbs up, anything like that, or which solidifies your feeling, your emotion, right? And then universe will change itself. That seed has been planted, then you drop it, that the seed will be harvested in due time. So that is all I wanted to share. Hope you really like this video. Please like and subscribe to this channel so you can find more videos like this, and this video can reach more people. So my goal is to help as many people as possible. Until then, take care. I wish you great success in your manifesting journey. Take care. Cheers.